they've been around longer than anybody else who came in there. And storytelling is special to Asia, for example, and also to Europe, different countries. So storytelling is a human being thing. It's something that has been passed on. It's been practiced for hundreds of years, thousands of years among people all over the world. Of course, it depends on where you think life began. Some people think it was in Africa because of the remains that were found of Eve in Africa. So that's up to you. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't know much about that. But storytelling has many purposes for it. Like this school year here, you're learning, and it's going to cover everything in your life, from work to just being with your friends, right? So storytelling traditionally is what was passed on from just working, because we didn't have machines, we didn't have computers. So when you're out there in your rice fields, and some people still use hands to harvest a lot of what is it called? Food. Food. That's right. I know that name, food. So that when you're harvesting, that's a lot of work, isn't it? And it's like it gets really tiring. So what do? You talk story. In Hawaii, there's a lot of legends in Hawaii. They say, let's talk story. So you go out and you talk story. That means we're just having a good time. We're shooting the breeze, chewing the fat. And in this culture, we have all these phrases for talking story. Because storytelling is it's like breathing for human beings. So that if you're harvesting peanuts, oh boy, now we have machines for that in Ghana. That, little things, peanuts, it's going to take a whole day from sun up to sundown. You talk stories, you create, you share. So storytelling is connected with music and dance for all the cultures who have always been storytelling before this culture started. Does that make sense so far? Mm-hmm. Yes. So that, of course, you start working, pulling, pushing, banging on something, digging, whatever it is, and you start rhythmically making up a rhythm to make it go faster. And you share that rhythm, and it goes on, and everybody's moving in this rhythmic, the same way. It makes work go much faster. When you're doing dishes, or who does chores at home? I was hoping everybody would. Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes, just checking. It's only Wednesday. You cannot be tired. Oh gosh, life is so hard. So, yes. So is it better when you're doing chores or even studying to have music on? Yeah. For me, it's better when I'm doing dishes because I don't want to do dishes. So I get the music on. It's like, oh, this is cool. I'm washing it away, and you see my head moving, and I stop. Oh, that's the hit. We're still doing it today. This is no mystery. This is not new. Yeah. We're still doing it. This is not a mystery to you. You hang out with your friends. Usually there's some music going on, right? Okay, so there's rhythm, and they're singing, and then you're just gonna sing. Sometimes we don't even have music. Some of us take our brushes and we start singing. That's it. It's just a way to lift us up, to make everyday activities mundane, make it more fun, or to propel us, to move us to the day. Like today, how you feeling, right? You're like, oh my gosh, right? I feel you. But on the bus, you know what I had? I had me some music. I had some Aaliyah going. Y'all too young to remember her probably. But I had some music going. I had some White Clef going. And it gives me energy. Okay, same thing. When our ancestors were working hard in the fields, okay, working hard at home, they sang. They created dance, they created songs, they created music, they shared it. And this sharing went from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next. And so were the stories. People made up stories. People started to make up stories. So for example, who was here? There were a couple people of you that were here at the story, the performance assembly. Who was there? I thought I saw a couple tall people there. Taller than usual. You were not here? You didn't make it? I saw two very tall students.
Might have been 8th grade.
Oh, it's 8th grade.
These are 7th grade.
Okay.
They're tall, but these are...
I did storytelling performance, yeah. You missed it. Oh my god. I know. I just thought that you knew, so my bad. So that the stories were passed on, and in the beginning, of course, again, when you don't have TV, you don't have iPods, iPads, what do, right? You gather around and you talk story, you exchange, and then you have people who are just gifted, who can create. They can create. Some people create with their hands, right? And some people create with their voice. So they start creating stories. The stories, these stories, the trickster stories, are in every culture, as far as I know. The trickster stories, for example, Anansi the spider is popular in Ghana. The spider stories are very popular. And the spider stories, through the slave trade, have been passed on to other countries, especially the islands. The spider stories are trickster stories, and trickster stories are found all over. Like in Native American is the raven, is a trickster. And then there's the coyote, the coyote, right? In Latin American. So everybody has a trickster story. Isn't that interesting? They've never met, but because a trickster is a way for us to do, to be naughty without getting in trouble. So we create tales because you just want to push somebody, you want to push their chair so they fall, but you know it's really mean. But boy, we all have that part of us that is just mischievous. Oh my, by the way, I am very mischievous because I never do anything like that, but I do it in my storytelling. I get to be really mischievous through Anansi the spider. So they create these stories, and it's funny. It's just to entertain. That's all it is, just to entertain. And also to get away with stuff that you wouldn't get away if you did it actually, with your community. But the character, you can use the character, right? The character will be the one who's going to carry your fantasies appropriately, right? Fantasies, and we all get to laugh. Oh, that was great, but we can't do it. But Anansi the spider could do it. Yay! And you get it out that way. Because we all have a naughty streak. I don't care how quiet you think you are. And sometimes the really quiet ones, boy, they're the ones who are good at practical jokes. They are really good. So watch out for the quiet ones. I'm telling you. I am not quiet, I'm loud, so I was always caught. Because I'm not slick. I just have an issue, I'm not slick at all. Too bad. So I got in trouble, and I learned very quickly that I wasn't good at being slick. But so the one thing is entertainment, because there was nothing else to entertain you. The first one is just to make the workday go faster. So it's very practical, a very smart and very creative way of working and not getting us tired. And also just creating a bond between workers in the village, in the towns, in the country, etc., etc. And then, at the end of the day, what do? So we worked hard, we talked story a little bit, and mostly during the work time you sing. You sing really because your hands are busy, you're not sitting together. When you come and sit together, what do we do with the children? What are they going to do? There's no TV. We're going to talk story. We're going to make up stories. And stories were made up so that we gather this. So you know where kids are, They all came. There was, wherever you went, when people lived in smaller communities, instead of grandma is in Boston and you're here, grandma would be with you, right? Who has a parent or a family member who's not in the state? See, most of you, right? Well, whereas, of course, way back when we were all we might be in the next village because somebody got married off, but it's a village that you could travel to. It's not very far. I know you're looking at me like, what? That happened. I know that was back then, but that's okay. You don't have to do that. You want to get married off?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'll take you to Ghana. You can marry one of my nieces. Oh, yeah. See, that happened though, right? So thank God, we don't have to deal with that. We can go, I like her, I like him. Now I don't anymore. Oh my gosh. Next month, I like him better. 3 months later, oh, we broke up. We can have that, it's so fun. Just know that it's not forever. The hurt, the drama stops. And you learn from the drama, don't you? I go off tangents, by the way. So the kids are gathered together, just like here. You didn't have your iPod, you didn't have books too, which I just cannot imagine that. Personally, I know. It's a free. That's like horror story in my life. Get no books. That's horror. That's right. But you had your aunties and uncles. You had your elder sibling. You had your elder cousins. They were there and they told stories to you. And then you practice when you went to the play. When you were off during the day, you would play with your friends. You would practice, or you would retell some of the stories that somebody had fallen asleep, or somebody from another village came, and you would share with them. And all of a sudden, as you go, you become a storyteller yourself, and you create or you retell what you've heard. So, for work, for entertainment, and there are different kinds of stories. There's the ones that are just funny, just because sometimes we just need to laugh. Sometimes we don't need a deep message. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. We don't need something deep. We just need to laugh. Just have some fun. So we have that. I need to sit. My back hurts. So we just want to have fun. And then sometimes we're together. The adults want to teach us. They want to remind us right from wrong. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. And those messages are carried in fun ways, so that you can accept them, you can take them in. And it's like you're a sponge, we're all sponges. And it told over and over again to show us, this is what you do, this is what you do not do. And if you do this, this is the consequence. You do that, consequence. Cause and effect. Okay, so we learn all life lessons through our elders. Okay? But isn't that cool that we all come together and we're all on the same page, in the same village. And the lesson is the same, there's no confusion. Well, my mom said I could, and then my mom said I couldn't. This is what really I think is a challenge for us right now. We have all these choices, and everybody's on a different page, and then the teachers have to go, okay, this is now home, this is classroom. Ghana culturally, we have the same rules for the school as at home. So teachers' jobs are easier. You know what I mean, right? And like me, it's interesting for me when I go to different schools. I came here and you're eating, and that is, I was horrified, by the way, that you were eating because I come from a culture where you wouldn't do that. And then also, the public schools, you can't do that, period. And that's a good reason. But I also know that the world is full of different people. Within a big culture, United States of America, we have smaller cultures. And as you walk into that culture, that new culture, I can come and say, y'all need to stop eating now, that is just so rude. Now, that's really rigid of me, isn't it? Yeah. That would be really rigid. That's right. I came here, I was horrified. I was like, breathe, Habiba, breathe. It's okay. It really is okay. I have this inner mama, it's okay. This is a different school. This is not Ghana. It's not India. You know? It's not England. It's not Sri Lanka. This is Portland, Oregon. Yes. Okay. So I did a little hyperventilation. But anyway, I digress. But this is a lesson for me that I'm sharing with you, that you gotta be flexible and you have to respect the culture of the place that you are entering. You cannot impose your own ideas on them. If somebody is getting hurt, that's different, right? Are you getting hurt eating in class? Sometimes, okay.
Getting hurt not.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna try to help you with that. Y'all can figure that out because y'all smart. Okay, that's on you. I'm not gonna try to help you that. So, does that make sense? That little tidbit, yeah. And you know what? In life, you're gonna face a lot of situations like that, and you really have to step back with your own ideas. Think this is how you feel something should be. Okay, that's great, and that might work for where you came from, but not where you are. There's a big difference. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So there's right from wrong, and the stories carry those messages for everyday life so that you continue to have a healthy, joyful life. So that the village, the community, the town, the city, the country thrives, it grows, it gets better and better. And everybody is treated equally. Everybody experiences justice equally. And these stories do the same thing. It's a little simple story, but those simple stories are little atoms, you know, that get seeped into your body and become part of who you are as you grow. And hopefully those lessons become part of who you are.